Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Boom Rookies with Grub, presented by ESPN, coming at you live from the Grub Hub. My name is Matt Bugnato. With me today, Josh Reynolds. Hello.
Hello, mate.
Mate, down to 4.
Down to 4.
Condolences.
And unfortunately, the Mighty Blue and Whites will not be a part of that 4. Yeah, bit rattled, to be honest. Like, it was a tough game to watch.
Very much so.
You know, like, I'm hearing people say we didn't have a crack and blah, blah, but I tend to disagree with that. I just think we got outplayed by a red hot side.
They were scary. And that is our main discussion point for the top of the show. Is this the year we get a premier from outside the top 4? Of course, hasn't happened since the Dogs back in 1995. Penrith, Cronulla, both still in. Can one of them win it?
Well, I think them two in the grand final.
Yeah, really?
That's where I'm going.
Wow.
I just think if anyone can do it, I think it's Penrith. Absolutely. And the way they played on the weekend. Like, by the way, as well, like, there's been a lot said about the Bulldogs. I don't want to go too much into this, but what some people have got to understand is about the whole year and the situation, right? Just because it doesn't suit your agenda on what success looks like, it doesn't mean that we internally didn't think it was a successful season. And this is what everyone's saying, like, what do you mean? And this and that. No. It is so hard to win a comp. But you also got to think long term. So I just wanted to throw that out there. Like, even my mates and stuff. Oh, what do you mean? I'm like, no. Like, just because what you think, success is. Look at where we were a couple of years ago.
Yep,
we're in the top 4 now.
Yep,
you'd be happy with that as a club, right?
At the moment, definitely.
At the moment. So anyway, let's not get too far into it. But for Panthers, most clinical display all year. Don't you think?
Yeah, mate. What terrified me is that we've seen Penrith win games in a specific way for the most part for this entire dynastic run, and that is by just grinding teams down. And I thought this game was going to be a bit of a grind. I didn't think it, probably not to the extent that 8-6 game was early in the season, but still, I thought it was going to be low scoring, tough, points at a premium. And instead, we saw some free flowing and expansive footy from Penrith that that they're obviously capable of. We have seen at times before, but that was not how I expected them to win that game.
Well, it all just started with Nathan. Like, everyone always speaks about, like, we will see the exact same plays that Penrith run on the weekend 30 times this weekend from the 4 sides. No one runs them as good as Nathan. The way he squares up at the line and the way he distributes the ball at the back to his sweep runners is ridiculous. He opens up space for every single person. And then we speak about a thing in NRL rugby league called last pass class. Those centers on the weekend, Tago and McLean, that quick pass to their wingers, hitting them on the chest every single time. A couple of them, Alamonte and even I had to do a bit of work, but had to have that ball out in front. I hope people understand the skill set that is needed by that. And then this is just Penrith to a T. Big inclusion for me, and he set the tone, was Mitch Kenny. We spoke about last week that they were going to miss him in that game. His line speed was amazing, doing all the little things, probably not all the things that Channel 9 or Fox are going to see, but me as a player and an ex-player and a person that sees hard work, he was amazing. I just love Penrith have got gears, mate, and that's what scares me. Even Leota, he never loses the start of a game in a big game. I've never seen him be dominated. But then you go, you got Isaiah Yeo, who understands the feel of a game. So he's not necessarily your number 13 distributor anymore. He's running hard, finding his feet, getting up, playing the ball, and then Nathan just doing what Nathan does. I mean, ball on the string, open up space for people when needed, and just giving Blaze Talangi that confidence. All I'm saying is, if they do that on Sunday, they win. Yep. Against an all-firing Brisbane side. What do you think about that game?
I'm really excited with how Penrith won on the weekend because I think it sets up good v good matchup on Sunday next week with both teams just throwing everything at each other. I think if we get another game where Penrith can put together attack like we saw last weekend against Canterbury, it's going to be an all-time classic, I think, because we know the Broncos can score points in bunches, and now we've seen that Penrith will fancy their chances of being able to do the same thing. And also, like, the Broncos have a couple of defensive frailties that we haven't seen Canterbury have as much this year.
True.
But Penrith made Canterbury's edges look a little bit frail, which they haven't really been for the most part.
Best defensive side.
Exactly right. But Brisbane have had some problems, especially with edge defense this year. So maybe maybe that's how Penrith get at them. And I think that game could end up being a real shootout, which I'm so excited for.
Well, from something you see, I will quiz for you.
Yeah.
Something you seen on the weekend in Penrith. If you're Madge Maguire, where are you going after?
Well, the problem is it's difficult. It's quite difficult to analyze sort of anything that, like, because I know they leaked a lot of points in the second half, right? But that second half of that game was very sort of breezy. You know what I mean? Like I think at halftime both teams kind of knew the outcome was sort of in the bag. Like, and credit to the Bulldogs for staying on the job and scoring a few tries. And Lockie Galvin, I thought, played really well in attacking him, and Jacob Preston, I think, could hold their heads very highly with the way that both of them played. But watching that first 40 minutes from Penrith, I thought that's the best half of footy they've put together since probably the first half of the 2022 grand final. And that is terrifying because this was supposed to be the year where they finally took a step backwards. And for a large part, they were last after 12 rounds, whatever it is. And the Bulldogs were first. And then they got to Sunday and they just looked like the all-conquering machine that they have been in the past. But I guess if you're Brisbane, you look back on the fact that for 60 minutes in that grand final 2 years ago, you were the better team.
Yep.
You were up 24-8 or whatever it was. You were in control. And then it took the best 20 minutes of Nathan Cleary, the best player in the world's career.
Unbelievable.
To swing that game. So I think maybe, I thought Blaise Talangi did a really good job rushing out and hitting people defensively on the weekend, that maybe Brisbane can look at that and maybe try to get around him a little bit.
Two things. This will be Penrith's best ever. If they win the grand final from 12th, I think this is their best ever win season.
Yep.
And that you mentioned Blaise Talangi. He played tough, but the connection between himself and Casey McLean, that's the spot.
Yep.
Jordan Ricky, right back rower for the Broncos. If I'm Madge Maguire right now, I'm telling him, rip Blaise Talangi's inside shoulder off every single time with Reece Walsh at the back, and you will get joy. You look at that short side play where Galvin sneaks down the short side, beautiful lead line on McLean. And look, I love Connor Tracy. He had a great season, but no offense to him. If you got Reece Walsh at the back, you're sweating even more. So that would be the combination that I'd be going after.
Yep, completely agree. But as for Cronulla, I have never seen them win a game like this. This is not the Cronulla team that we've seen under Craig Biscuit. They've had some great wins, again, and usually in the regular season against lesser teams, but we've seen the big knock on them is that they've not been able to get it done in the finals, and they've had a pretty poor record against the other good teams in the competition, including this year, where I think they were 2-7 against top 8 teams before the final started or whatever it was. But they were great against the Roosters, and then they were fed. I thought from basically the time Sifa Talakai came on, him and Britt Nickera were both outstanding. And from that moment, the 55 minutes onwards, I thought they were by far the better team.
You know what it is at the moment with Cronulla, and you hear all of them speak, Ronnie Mulatalo, Nico Hines, them more in particular. It's us against the world mentality.
Yeah, I love it.
Isn't it?
No, this goes back to what you were talking about the other week with like shutting out outside noise and stuff. I think it's so refreshing that the Sharks players are like, yeah, we've heard all the things people are saying about us.
We want more.
And we like keep doubting us.
Yeah.
And we're going to prove you wrong. I love that. Use it as fuel. Because we've seen like the Tom Brady Patriots and the Patrick Mahomes Chiefs try to do the nobody believes this thing, and no one believes it. But if the players believe it, that's all that matters. There's not an easier motivational tool for a group of players than no one said we could do it.
Yeah. I just think at the moment, I don't know what it is. The Sharks' belief, like, everyone thinks they can win the grand final.
Of course.
That's what everyone said at the start of the year. But realistically, a lot of the teams deep down, when you dig it all out, underneath all that, honestly, all that crap.
Obviously, you're never expecting someone to say it public.
Some teams can't win it.
Obviously, if you go to like Titans preseason training at the start,
they're going to say it.
They'll say it.
But I think Cronulla believe in themselves now.
Think so.
I just think this is the year. And it comes down to, we've spoken about multiple times on the show, the Trindle and Hines combination. Trindle has taken over the team. Nico Hines is just playing a second fullback-like role.
Yeah.
But also playing 5'8", stepping up when he needs to. He's stinking run first. He's trying to beat defenders like back when he used to in Melbourne.
But then when he needs to. Like that pass he threw to Mulatalo, superb.
Unbelievable.
Great.
Like that is, and this is the thing, right? I think they've really, at their best, the Sharks halves actually link up the best. They both go down short sides together, as you said, that play. But it's been Blake Brayley's, he's unbelievable outbreak
season. He was
season.
Possibly their best player on Saturday night as well.
Again.
Awesome.
Again, but he's taking pressure off these guys because he's hammering you at the ruck. They've got an awkward pack. You can never put Fanua Blake on his back. He's always standing up. Toby Rudolph gets belted onto his back, plays the balls fast. Cole Hearn has played. He's added a look.
He has.
They're missing like Cam. He's a great player, but they've just added that bit more size to their pack. They're just awkward. Yeah. So teams are struggling, but they're just making sure at the moment that the Sharks, they're taking every opportunity. That's what they're doing. And then you got Ronnie Mortala that competes on every single play. He's the heartbeat of that side. People, into him for being in people's faces, this and that, mate. When you're chasing down every single kick, putting pressure on people, do whatever you want, mate. And I know it's a tough task.
The toughest. Doesn't get any
tougher. One of the toughest. But if there's a team that's confident at the moment, and if there's a possible team that's there for the taking, after what I've seen in that first game against the Dogs, I think the Sharks could be a chance, mate.
Wouldn't that be something? A Sharks-Broncos grand final would be a lot of fun. But we're probably just going to get Penrith-Melbourne again, aren't we?
Yeah, if we're being realistic.
But so you're going Penrith-Sharks. You're going both. We're going a double outside the top 4 grand final. So, of course, we're going to have an outside the top 4 winner then.
I think so.
Wow.
Don't get me wrong. I'm actually going against, there's feeling in my gut understanding the Melbourne juggernaut. But what are they going to do? Is Jerome Hughes playing with a busted shoulder and an arm that hasn't healed yet? He's it's a sort of similar predicament, right? Remember he brought him back that week early.
Yeah, he hurt his arm throwing a pass.
But he's in a similar predicament. But this is do or die now. Yeah. Do I wait and back myself for the grand final? Because that arm, that hasn't healed. It's only been 3 weeks. Bone, 4 to 6. That hasn't healed yet. But he's still got that.
Yeah.
Do you stick with Pezzett, who's been absolutely brilliant? I trust him now.
Yep.
Or you bringing in a 70% Hughesy? What are you doing?
Well, I think you've got to stick with Pezzett. I think it's too much of a risk. I think because then you probably, if you win, he's probably at least going to be fit enough to play in the grand final.
Agreed.
I think that's what you got. And Pezzett's form factors into this as well. Pezzett's been playing really well.
Great.
So
I'm with you.
But we'll find out in Teamless in a couple of hours' time. But yeah, very exciting. But just on the Sharks, we can move straight to our attacking play of the week. You talked about how much you love Trindle and Hines combining. We'll start with the break down the left, but then it leads to, them stealing the lead before halftime.
Well, this is what I love about halves, linking up together. Not a lot of halves do it. It's usually the half and the fullback, but they do it the best. So if we play it here, they see, that it's not really a short. It's a wide pass. Trindle digs into the line. Hines out the back. You can see Corey Horsburgh there at 3-man. They've obviously identified that, and that's why they've gone at it. They make a half break, but that's not good enough for them now. They're obviously talking, communicating, looking for each other. It doesn't have to be a play, though. It's last tackle. Everyone thinks it's going to kick, drop under. That's a feel thing, and sometimes the combination, you cannot train for that. No. That is just something that it's not even, you can't practice that because you don't know how much someone's going to overchase. No. You don't know how much, but what I love about it, it's a break and then it's get it to your best players and just be around the ball. But if you can see that play, I didn't mention it, but for them to realize Corey Horse was at 3-man and he's not going to double D well, that is a smart halves combination that is humming on the same page.
And just that little tiniest fake of Trindle, you think he's going to kick out to the right. Instead, gives it back underneath to Hines. And just a great, powerful effort to get to the line.
Little flick pass. And this is where Nico's at. Yeah. I honestly think if he's playing a halfback role, he doesn't do that because he's thinking, well, mate, I got to kick. Or he's not. He's just thinking, I might, I'll pick up the scraps. He's around the ball. He wants the ball. He wants to take the game on, and that's what the Sharks want from him.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And mate, I reckon they would have been happy being 6-0 down the way that half had gone. And instead, they were 12-6 up, and it just went on from there.
And you mentioned it before, mate. Another great play was the first try. They were in the balance, in the grind, and then all of a sudden, same thing.
Yeah,
you go down a short side. Nico Hine, beautiful sweep line, tucks himself behind. Canberra's edge defense very dicey at the best of times and comes up with the 3-on-2. It's been a problem
for them all year, and they just came to the fore at the worst time.
This was my biggest fear.
Tough way for their season to end.
Yeah,
Canberra.
But look, everyone's same thing. Everyone's saying, Canberra, bow out. Boys, they're a young. Everyone, they're a young team. Look at where they finished. They're only going to get better. And
I think the Sharks absolutely deserve to win, but the Ethan Strange is going to be one of the best players in the sport. I've no doubt.
A late exclusion of him, mate.
Come on, hours beforehand.
He's one of your guys. He's only a young guy, but you look.
I think he's been their best player this year, along with Tarpanay.
I will. With the awards night last week, I was surprised he didn't get it. Tarpanay's been great, but this guy lit the NRL on fire.
He's fantastic. Yep. But yeah, look for big things from him and from them. next year. All right, let's move to the defensive side of the ball.
Yep.
A lot of points this weekend. Not a lot of defense being played by anyone, but
especially in this game.
Well, this actually does lead to a try in itself. But Brian Toto basically sealing the game for Penrith.
Yeah, so if you can see here, it's obviously last tackle, and the Dogs go pass. And if you stop it here, this is what we call a staircase. So on last tackle, Blaze Talangi, he takes a layer off. I've gone blank there, the back rower, Martin, and then you've got McLean, and then you've got Toto in the back. So it's sort of like layered defense. But it's nice play here from the Bulldogs. They see that. It's a nice lead line from Preston. He done it all day. And if you play here, Connor Tracy's out the back, McLean here. But if you pause it here, it's a 2-on-1, okay? And I don't want to give away too much, but the system of the Bulldogs / the Penrith defensive system, not many people in the NRL would be able to come up with this play. So from right now, Toto's thinking in his head, I've got to stay as square as I can for as long as I can and then try and double D. But he's gone even one better than that. He's come as square as he can. He's watched the pass. He's watched the ball, and he's come up with a play like that just breaks the hearts of the Bulldogs once again. But it's these plays aren't not many people turn that into a positive play for the defense. But this just goes to show you that system that Cameron Serrato's built at both these clubs is the best we've seen in a long time.
And this is why, Brian Toto's been one of the untouchables for this dynasty. They've let a bunch of, genuinely a top 8's worth of talent leave to go to other clubs.
Ridiculous.
Toto, along with Cleary and Yeo and Edwards, is untouchable.
Unbelievable.
This is why. One of the best. Where does he rank for you in wingers in our lifetime? He's right up top.
I don't like talking about it now because he's not done.
Yeah,
he'll be up there
for sure.
Top 3.
Yeah,
I know it's a big call, and recency biased, and I understand all that. But man,
the yardage, the power,
he's a front rower.
Yeah,
and he finishes tries.
Not to mention, we've had 6 years now. People going, "Oh, we'll just test Toto in the air," and it's he's always held his own.
And he's a character.
Absolutely.
I like a character. So he's great.
The Diet Coke stuff is great too.
Ridiculous.
Yeah,
it's actually, I thought it was a G up, but it's not.
Yeah, that's one of those ones because he has been known to say things that aren't true to journalists, just little jokey
around.
things, to muck around. But that one is apparently true.
I love it.
So
good on him.
All right. What's up? What is the dumbest reason you've ever heard for a teammate being fined or disciplined? And this can remain anonymous.
Yeah, I can't give this bloke up because he'd absolutely shoot me.
Yeah.
But all I'll say is he's very embarrassed. Quite the idiotic thing to do. But look, he's decided to have a little sickie on a Monday.
Okay.
It happens.
Yeah.
It's like a job for us. You get the cough every now and then. But so it's preseason training. We are getting absolutely flogged. And we come off the field, and his partner decides to post a photo of them drinking cocktails at might have been Manly Beach, and we're
great
like,
spot.
Yeah, and we're like, well, because you got to think this isn't on the weekend because we played. He wouldn't have been at Manly. There's no possible ways. So, sorry, it was preseason, but he wasn't at Manly.
Yep.
So. It was live, and a couple of the boys texted him and said, "How you feeling, man?" He goes, "Yeah, pretty sick, bro." But we were laughing our heads off, and one of the boys says,
"Did the coaches find out?"
Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
He got dished up a little bit of a punishment, but it's obviously not the right thing to do. But we just thought it's hilarious how, and mind you, he reposted.
Oh dear!
Come on,
okay,
man.
that's one. It's one thing for someone to give you up, but it's another. It's like you hear those stories about someone getting caught on TV at a sports game because they've wagged school or gone to work or whatever.
That's exactly the same. So interesting,
great stuff, fantastic. All right, we have some listener questions. Andy from Armidale: do players tend to keep supporting the team they loved as kids if they played elsewhere? You mentioned Aaron Woods as an example, who grew up a Manly fan, but obviously didn't play for them until right at the end of his career.
Yep. It was a weird one for me personally. I was a Brad Fittler fan. Yep, loved him. That's me in the backyard. Big left foot step, smoking my brother constantly throughout the week. Just loved everything about him. So yeah, I did go to the dark side for a couple of years. I did go to the Chooks.
Well, that picture does the rounds on the internet.
I know, yeah. But I will say, once I earned my first ever Bulldogs jersey at the age of 14, I think it was in the development squad. I was I come crawling back.
Yeah.
But I also think that so where I started the Dogs, right?
Sure.
Went to the Tigers, went to Hull FC. got lucky, ended up back here at the Dogs and finished there. But if I didn't go back to the Dogs, I would still have a soft spot for them because it's where I grew up. It's where they gave me my first opportunity, and I'd always have a soft spot for them.
Yeah.
Look, obviously, unless it gets a little
Correct.
bit,
Unless
there's
ugly. Specific situations with players and teams where it ends in a toxic way. But
I could say something about something, but it's not. It's there's a few players that won't ever be on the Christmas list of a few clubs. But there's always a soft spot. But for me right now, do I like the Roosters? No. Do I love Brad Fittler? Yes.
Absolutely. We're a pro Brad Fittler podcast.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Cam from Brisbane. For home games, do players arrive themselves or do you meet somewhere else first and get a bus in together? How early before a game do you arrive? What's your pre-game routine? Are teammates generally jokey, chatty before games or more silent serious? I imagine that last one differs from person to person, but the rest?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. It just depends on your coach, actually, to be honest. When I played a lot of the time with Des, and even at the Tigers, you turned up yourself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you rocked in, you done whatever you needed to do throughout the day, and then turned up 2 hours before.
2 hours? Okay.
2 hours and a bit, maybe, because depends if you need strapping, getting there a bit earlier. But 2 hours gives you a little bit to go out and watch the game before, but also you probably, so now you've got to put your headphones down at maybe an hour before.
Right.
So I'd say that's when you got to switch on fully.
Yep.
But so totally different now. I know the Bulldogs. This Bulldogs team, they stay at the Pullman or
the Sheraton.
One of the ones across from Core. Yeah, one of those two places there. And I do get it. It's a good way to connect night before the game, get to know each other. Not that you don't know each other, but when you stay over, you're just hanging out. And it's all about connection and get to know your teammates and just hanging out more. And I know Cam Stroud is really big on that. I suppose some people like it, some people don't. Like if you've got a family and kids, you might want to be at home with them.
Yep.
If you don't have that, you want to be with the boys playing PlayStation.
Plus, you're stuck at Olympic Park, nothing to do. So there's no.
It's not like sneaking out anywhere.
Sneak out and go to the locker room.
Yeah, that is a great joint.
It is, but
Arthur Laundy, one of the greats.
Yep.
But the only trouble you can get in is if you go down and have 2 or 3 scoops of cold rock. But
absolutely. Can you believe up until the locker room opened, there was one pub at that precinct?
Ridiculous.
For 20 years. So
ridiculous.
Silly. So dumb.
My pre-game routine, I wasn't a very however I felt.
Yep.
I didn't have exact regimented things, and I had on the total opposite. James Graham, I roomed with him. He was
I remember the tea bags.
Bang, bang, and I was just like, man, that's giving me anxiety for what you're doing. But sometimes I'd sleep, sometimes I wouldn't, sometimes I'd walk, sometimes I wouldn't. The only thing I'd do is always have pasta the night before.
Pasta,
yeah,
plain pasta or like.
Well, I'd mix it up. Like I'd always go to the Italian Bowl.
Yep.
I think.
Oh yeah.
In Newtown.
Yeah.
So they were good friends of mine, and they'd always look after me. But if not, I'd just look after it myself. But the one thing I actually feel I never nailed, mate, was my game day food.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it's because I was really nervous and anxious inside. I always got nervous before every game, and so I feel because when you're a bit nervous, you don't feel hungry.
Mate, I'm not a professional or anything, but I never ate before I played.
Well, there you go.
Never.
Same thing.
Yeah.
But then I'd feel my energy levels on the field. I'd be like, I need something here. But then I'd go the other way and I'd go, nah, I don't feel right, but I want to eat. So I'd eat, but I feel a bit full and a bit gluggy. And I just feel I never got it right. So one thing I'll say, to young guys out there, test it early. Try and get that, into your game day before you get there, because mate, you obviously you're playing in front of bigger crowds, the more nervous, and so just try and normalize it from a young age, and eat sweet potato and veggies, whatever. Yeah. But that was one thing I never really got right with my pre-game. I reckon.
No, I'm right there with you. Just might have a banana in the morning. That was about it. Couldn't do much more.
You just don't feel like it, do you?
Never did.
It's weird. I have about nearly 8 coffees a day.
Yeah,
like doubles. But I'd only have one on game day because they say caffeine's not really good.
That's right. Yeah, true. A huge Red Bull guy, but I wouldn't have them before games. Yeah, same principle.
Man, we're
getting it.
You're an athlete.
I'm trying my best. All right, Sal from Wollongong. Following a big tough loss, what do players and staff use to process and recover? How does the club operate in these months? In these moments, sorry.
Yeah, as a player, you don't want to go. If you have a big loss, you don't want to go in on a Monday because it could be an absolute slaughterfest in the video on a Monday because if you've had an absolute stinker. But it depends on the coach. Some coaches will look at a few clips and a few tries and like hurry past it because it also depends on how bad you're going. If it's a one-off,
Yeah.
and it's not very common for your team, you're not gonna. You'll just say, "Look, boys, this was terrible. We'll look at one or two things, but we need to get back to where we are." But if it's happened a couple of times, you need to go through it. You need to have some tough conversations, because otherwise the same thing's going to happen week in, week out, right? No one's sticking to the principles. Everyone's coming out of the line doing their own thing. But I feel sometimes when everyone's under pressure and you walk in and you're losing, everyone's on eggshells. No one knows what to say. Your coaches aren't as jokey with you because they're under pressure.
Yeah.
And then you're under pressure. Everyone deals with pressure differently. The best teams that I've been a part of are the teams that get into that video room and you literally say, "Listen here, boys, this is a safe space. I don't care if you've played 0 games or 400. He's allowed to say whatever he wants to you and vice versa."
Love that.
Safe place, right? But get in there, constructive criticism. I can tell, because we're teammates and we're mates, I want what's best for you.
Correct.
So what I say to you, don't take it. But some people struggle with that.
They do.
They really do. But the best teams get on with it. They get out of that. They get out of that meeting. No one segregates into little groups and says, "What about what he said in that video?" No. That's one of the worst things that can happen. I've been a part of teams where that happens. But if you walk out, you go on the field, fresh start, that's the best thing that can happen.
One of my mates messaged me after this first show and was like, "Mate, just talk a little bit slower, just a little bit." And I was like, "That's good feedback. Thank you.
There you go.
Didn't get mad about it. Just talk a little bit slower."
You punched him once.
No. Thank you, Sam, if you're listening. And speaking of Sam, a different Sam. Sam from Brisbane, what is your favourite rivalry to watch in the NRL and in other sports? So mine's obviously South and the Roosters, but right now with where those teams are, I don't think we'll ever get to the appointment viewing that was Broncos Cowboys between like 2015 and 2017.
Yeah, see,
those games were insane.
I think South Roosters is bigger.
I do too, but
that's my one.
Yeah, I think historically, absolutely. But I think just in that little window of like 3 years, remember every single one of those Broncos Cowboys games was sick. Like all of them.
You know what you need for the South Roosters to be big? Local juniors from both.
Yeah.
Then I feel it because I'm assuming South people are taught to hate Roosters and vice versa.
That's why I saw people going, "Oh, if the Roosters let Victor Radley go, he'll just end up at South." I'm like, no, he won't. He won't. Hates South.
Well,
and I like that he hates South.
And this is the reason why I love this game, because I've got in my notes here, Victor Radley goes old school.
Absolutely.
It goes after people.
And I love it. I respect it.
Well, it's hate. You know, like the likes of Mark O'Mealy, Willie Mason, they used to say, like, you have to hate, Parramatta because Terry Lambier and Turvey did. It's just passed down.
Yeah, of course.
It's just, it is. And you jump on board.
I'm not with the Boomers a lot of the time with their things that make them mad about modern sport. But one thing I am angry with them with, and you as a player might have a different view, I don't like it with the laughing with the other team after the game. I don't like it, Josh.
Nah,
I don't like it. Okay, good.
I don't want to. If you've just beat me, I don't want to talk.
Obviously,
to you.
if I see you like the next day, or like I'll be like, "Oh, hey mate, how are you?" But like straight after the game, I don't like it. Get down the sheds. Get out of there.
I'm with you.
But yeah, I agree. Like the hatred is so important. That 2022 finals game between South and Roosters is amazing. The 7 sin bins, just so much spite, so much hatred, so good.
Well, why do we love Origin?
Exactly.
Hate.
Yeah, it's
we
important.
Hate them. Hates. They hate us.
Hate's
we
not
hate
necessarily
them.
a bad thing. That's a weird thing
Hate
to say
to
without
hate.
context. But for other sports,
for me, it's Philly Cowboys.
Of course,
hate them.
And mine's Ravens Steelers. Obviously,
yeah, we're just very. But I hate. Yeah, I hate what they're about.
I know that I think we're a bit too young for like Lakers Celtics in the 80s and stuff. But like basketball rivalries just don't hit the same, do they?
Well, they don't exist anymore.
Well, that's true. They can literally only play each other in like the NBA finals, which they did in 2009 or whatever it was.
And like, you could be here one week and
that's
somewhere
true.
else.
That's why I don't watch anywhere near as much basketball as I used to. Hey? And the main reason for that is just like it just felt like players are moving all the time, and it just like it never felt like you could establish rivalries and hatred in the way that you can in other.
Well, how do you buy into the history of a club? Get to know ex players, who's played there, why.
Yeah.
Why? Let's just say the Celtics are such a tough team. What they're built on. Boston is a working class place, and like. How do you expect a player to buy into that if he could possibly get traded in 2 weeks?
Correct. There's so much moving and chopping and changing. That's why.
Yeah.
But like other ones like soccer, I love the Celtic Rangers rivalry. Love it. Love to go to an old firm at Celtic Park. It'd be sick.
Man City, Man U.
Yeah, always good. Liverpool, Man U. What's the best one in England besides them? That's
Everton, Liverpool.
Newcastle, Sunderland's a good one as well, actually. Find it, mate. Honestly, I think the saddest thing I've ever seen at a pub is when You remember when, so Sunderland were in the third tier at the time. They were they're down to League One. I think after they got the second relegation, and this guy, I was at the pub to watch a Leeds game, and Sunderland were playing someone else that night. And quite early in the night, there was a Sunderland fan standing next to me at the pub, and he seemed like a normal human being. We're just talking, whatever. They'd played Newcastle in the, like they have like the Johnston's Paint Trophy, whatever it's called, like which is like the cup for just lower league teams. And what happens is the Premier League teams enter like their youth teams into it as well. So the Sunderland full strength men's team had played like the Newcastle under 21s, and Sunderland had pumped them 5-0. Obviously, it was literally men against boys. And then a Newcastle fan walked into the pub about 20 minutes later, and this Sunderland fan was like getting in his face and doing 5-0 in his face and like trying to fight him and stuff. And I'm like, mate, it was quite literally like your first team against their children.
Yeah,
like,
but so you're not liking that?
No, I just thought it was like
no, embrace the hate.
You like it?
Well,
he got kicked out of the pub for fighting.
Yeah, well, that's bad luck. That is a rivalry. I don't care how young you are. You want to put on that jersey, I hate you.
Fair enough. You're okay with it. Bullying children.
Hey, don't make a headline here.
Josh Reynolds endorses
the last
bullying.
thing I need.
But yeah, no. What other ones like? Oh, the Ashes, obviously.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh man,
I want to beat them 6-0 something.
Get it on.
If that's even possible. Yes, it is right behind the studio.
Yeah, we might go. We might roll in from the potty.
Mate, we should get in a camp here. Not podcast.
Yeah.
Give us a cricket podcast just for the summer. Just roll straight in.
I'm in.
All right. Grub of the week. I'm self-nominating this week.
I just cannot believe this.
I mean, look, I'm going to try and defend myself, but
well, let's play it first.
Okay. Yeah. There's me just having a great time. Now,
pause here. Can we take it back?
Take it back.
All right, pause here.
Okay.
I got questions for you right now.
All right. I'll answer them.
Why are you in Canberra in a Sharks jersey?
That is not a Sharks jersey. That's a Chicago
Sharks colours.
That's a Chicago Cubs shirt and a Leeds United jacket.
Did you wear blue for Sharks colours?
Okay, so the reason I wore the shirt is me and my wife went to Chicago in 2016 because she's a mad Cubs fan.
Right.
And that's when I bought that shirt when the Cubs won the World Series. And I thought there would be a subtle way to show solidarity to the Sharks because they also won in 2016. That's why I wore it. Being blue was just a coincidence.
So okay, I've got a question.
Okay.
Everyone, can we comment? Can we on our socials this week? Everyone in the borough, how are you feeling about this imposter?
I'm not wearing any Sharks gear though. This is
You just said you're wearing the colours.
A little subtle nod. The fact that it's blue is not right. Anyway, the Leeds jacket was because Leeds played this night. And all right, so I'm going to defend myself here. So I got the bus down. Didn't want to drive because A, I wanted to watch the NRLW games on the way down, which I did. 2 great games. And B, I wanted to watch the Leeds game on the way home. And you can't really do that if you're driving a car. So that was the easiest part. Second, we get down there. I was happy to either sit in the press box with my pass or go GA with my mates who'd bought me and my friend Sarah. They bought GA tickets. But our mate Jake, who's just on the left there, he's like, "Oh, we got 2 spare tickets. Come sit with us." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet, no worries." No one told me the tickets would be in the front row of the stadium, which I didn't know. But as you can see, I'm not exactly, rah-rahing and waving a scarf around me. I'm politely clapping like Rory McIlroy has just sunk a regulation putt at Augusta.
True or not that you were doing spirit fingers?
False. Didn't do them. And I also did not participate in the piss take Viking claps that they were doing at the end.
Well,
mainly out of respect for my co-host Nick Campbell. But
I've got I know a lot of sources down in Canberra, and there's been some heavy allegations that you were doing spirit fingers.
I will go on record. I did not do spirit fingers or the Viking clap.
And what about the clap? He's gone. It's the smug clap, like, yes, I'm here, but I don't even know what would you call it? What is that?
I just appreciate good rugby. I think it was after Nico kicked the penalty goal.
People call me a grub. I would never do that to my team.
I've not done anything to my team. My team weren't playing.
That's like me going this week to support who's in Penrith because I like Nathan Cleary or something, and I've got a black shirt on or something. Man.
Are you suggesting that if you went to a game with your mates,
yes,
you wouldn't just at least clap politely for their team if something good happened to them?
Not in their colours.
That's a late, all right, it's a bad look.
This would not hold up in the court of law.
You're probably right. It's a nice jacket though, and then Leeds did win. So
man, that is one thing I didn't think you were, and that was an imposter.
I can't believe that you take. This is again. We talked about you wearing a Roosters jersey on TV.
Hey, but I was young.
Ago.
I was a young guy.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I want in life. I'm guided by what I see on the TV, and you are a grown man, and you're a supposable South supporter.
I'm a big South supporter, but
anyway, let's move on.
All right. What an absolute! I can't this just doesn't happen if I'm not.
You didn't think I was going to come that hard, did you?
No, I'm glad you did. I honestly, because phone reception is not great down there either. So we got to like halftime. I went to go visit a mate and like pulled my phone. I had like dead set 50 messages. I was like, I didn't factor in being in the front row. Like, what a stitch up! What an all-time stitch up! But it's funny. Got a good gif of me. The clapping gif has already gotten a lot of use in many group chats that I'm in, and we'll continue to do so. All right, what are you looking forward to this weekend?
I'm looking forward to the battle between Nathan Cleary and Reece Walsh.
Can't wait.
Reason being, Nathan Cleary's kicking game. He set up multiple tries off his boot last couple of weeks. His cage kicks in the 5x5 little box where we aim for is unbelievable. It's going to come down to Reece Walsh and his positioning, using his speed and being possibly able to get the Broncos out of trouble when Nathan is doing this. But it's so hard not to. Reece Walsh is known for his attacking. He's one of the best attacking players in the game, but he's going to need to be saving tries off Nathan's boot, pushing him into tough. But I'm also looking forward to the 40-20 battle between these two guys, which is very weird to be saying. You don't usually say a halfback and a number one.
The two best at it right now.
Two of the best in the game, mate. So that battle for me is going to be a big way in who will win that game.
Yep. For sure. And in the other prelim, Nico Hines against his old club. They'll remember that final from last year where they got pieced up. Munster scored after like 10 seconds. Harry Grant scored a hat-trick. They ran it up on them a little bit. They got pretty soundly beaten when they went down there earlier this regular season as well. But they did beat them down there last year in June or July, whenever it was.
Yep.
And Hines is I don't think he should be polarizing. I love watching Nico Hines play. I think he's a great player. I don't know why a lot of fans seem to not like him, but he's obviously was the odd one out at the Storm. He was the one that was squeezed out when they wanted to go with the spine that they have, who are all fantastic
which is
players.
Understandable.
Of course, absolutely. But no matter how good they are, there's still a part of you that thinks,
I got
these
squeezed.
guys squeezed me out. They didn't think I was. I was the one that wasn't. They didn't want to keep in their starting team, and that stuff means that stuff must mean something to anyone.
It hurts,
of course.
No one wants to be punted.
And we talked earlier about they've read all the headlines all year about frauds, pretenders, soft draw. Can't do it in the finals, all that stuff. This is their big chance to do it in the finals. And it, as you said, doesn't get any more hostile than you can ask if I'm going.
Will you be there?
No, of course not.
If I'm sitting there with the big size 13s up and I'm sitting there, and if I see your mug on my screen in similar colors, I'm turning it off.
I thought the Bill Murray shirt was a nice touch. I didn't factor in it being blue and white, but no, I won't be there
anyway, mate.
Mate, it should be a great game. I think like I would love to see a Sharks Broncos grand final just so we get something fresh. But yeah, it just feels like it could be. So what's the combinations left? Like Sharks, Penrith have never played each other in a grand final. That's the only one, right? Because Melbourne have played Brisbane, of course, in 06, and of course Melbourne have played Penrith last year, and Sharks played Brisbane in the Super League Grand Final in '97. So the only way we're going to get a new one is Sharks Penrith.
Good luck on the weekend, mate.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh,
unbelievable.
You are ridiculous. Something different.
It's all right. Well, let's get out of here. I've got to
see you guys.
Yeah, there's a banner making session down in Shark Park. I got to get to.
Make me sick.
Goodbye.